All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We're on the Magna Carta Sports Network. I'm your host, Wes. We're here today with our NFL expert, Drew, as
I
well
wouldn't, I
as
wouldn't, I would, I wouldn't say NFL expert. More of an analyst, but not an expert. But I appreciate the compliment.
also our sports personality Daniel's here as well, giving us some interesting insights. So today was an interesting day in the NFL. We'll do a little bit talk about that. As we saw today, it looks like the Baltimore Ravens blew a big lead. Um, the Cleveland Browns, after winning last week, they gave up a stinker. They put up 30 points, but they still lost.
They lost
Just
to the
because,
Jets at that. I'm gonna stop. Let me hold on. Let me jump one at a time. We're gonna start with the Ravens, right? I don't know what's going on with the Ravens. My man Tua came out. Tua came out and he pulled another Alabama upset. That's what I call it. That second quarter comeback was phenomenal. You can't take nothing away from the kid because a lot of people are doubting him and his ability as a quarterback. He 100% led his team like he has done before. He had,
Mhm.
just had to give us a little reminder of what he's capable of. But to come back from that deficit and put up 41 points in the second half, that's phenomenal. I mean, you can't really take nothing away from him. So kudos to him. Definitely messed up my picks a little bit. I definitely had the Ravens taking that one, but it definitely messed me up a little bit, boss.
I mean, what more can Lamar Jackson do? I mean, the guy put up what 30 something points,
38.
38 points. The defense just completely blew it. Really,
They definitely folded.
they had
Folded.
what? They didn't have any turnovers.
Wow.
So think about it. I believe threw two picks, and they still beat them. How is that possible?
You don't turn the ball over. The other team throws two picks and you lose.
It makes no sense on that. The
Yeah.
defense really blew everything. Tyreek Hill literally ran past the cornerbacks two times in the fourth quarter. It's just complete nonsense. Like a lot of miscommunication going on the DB's end. A couple of people thought like the quarterback thought like safety was there. No, there was no help. He was gone. So like nothing more Lamar can do. All I can say is pay that man.
It's still shocking that that they haven't come to a number, right? Like you think about a lot of people who've been paid so far, whether it's Kyler Murray, whether it's Deshaun Watson. That's a different story with the Cleveland Browns and everything. But Lamar has playoff wins. He has an NBA NFL MVP. He has some some big time stats even still. I mean, while most running quarterbacks are getting knocked out and stuff like that, he's still consistent. He's still there. He's still putting up numbers. He's getting better year in and year out. And the Baltimore Ravens have decided that it's not in their most immediate focus to pay that man. I think that's an interesting one that's going to continue on right now. It'll be like you said, like that before the season. So there's some people who were talked about had him getting traded to Miami, but with the way Tua played the last few weeks, I don't think that. I think Tua looked like he's getting ready to get the bag himself. So yeah, I'm a
I think
no, go ahead.
I think some of that problem lies in the fact this is just me overall. Usually when you pay a quarter, usually not always, and the Ravens ain't one of that team to historically shell out big money, but usually when you pay one person an astronomical amount of money, you don't have any money left in the cap to really build around that person. If you have a whole bunch of stars, how who do you decide who to pay? So I feel like if they do pay Lamar some XYZ amount of dollars, I feel like they won't have enough in their salary cap to build a team around him. His current
Mhm.
squad is definitely not doing it. So that's a dilemma that the Ravens will have to figure out. I also feel like if they don't pay him, he gonna walk away and go to a team that will pay him.
It's difficult because like it ain't necessarily the NBA. So like the NBA, if his contract runs out, he's a free agent, he walk away. The NFL has the franchise tag. So in theory, he's I think he's coming up on his fifth year. I think he got like 1 year left on his contract. He could realistically have another 2 years, even if he doesn't sign a contract with them. So
Hmm.
yeah, but it builds up bad will. What I mean? Like you sitting around and Justin Herbert probably might get paid Joe Burrow, likely he throwing picks left and right. He about to get paid. And Lamar Jackson is sitting there, still putting up numbers, still mostly carrying the franchise, and y'all not paying that man. So that's not an ideal situation to be in. I have to admit, I was not a Tua fan. I think that the Miami Dolphins have done in terms of adding Tyreek Hill, even though that was a crazy contract and all the picks that he gave up for him, it's proven himself that, hey, listen, he can be a point guard. He can get the ball to the people who he needs to get it to, and they let them do what they do from there. So if they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're able to draft a few more draft picks. They should be well. It'd be a smart thing for one of these quarterbacks at some point who aren't the most talented to be able to be like, you know what, I'm not trying to get the most money. Let me get, instead of me getting 40, let me get 32, and then make sure I keep those weapons around me and everything. But what I mean, it
So
seems
what
like
you
everyone
what you saying is they need to be like Brady.
it's crazy because like Brady is the GOAT, right? And he's given you a blueprint, but no one is willing to really follow the blueprint. Can you think of a quarterback who has been paid the most money, who has had a good run from that? Like outside of
But you also got to think. So when you can't really compare a lot of these quarterbacks to Brady, right? Brady wasn't always like that his entire career. Brady just became like that after XYZ number a Super Bowl victory. So Brady wasn't always like that. So you can't expect quarterbacks that's not at that Brady status now,
Mhm,
or that hasn't accomplished what Brady has accomplished to
mhm,
do what Brady is doing right now. It's just not feasible for him. It doesn't make sense. So
mhm.
I can't really I can't really say that to say
Yeah,
Brady gave the blueprint. Now if you
I
if
think
you,
mhm,
if
the new era of like quarterbacks all just trying to get the bag.
yeah,
Not quarterback in all sports now. Everyone's just trying to just get the bag, really.
yeah,
Like people are not going to turn down X amount of dollars. Like some people might like say like, oh, I'll save this like 5 to 10 mil, and then we can get sign someone else.
mhm,
Most people are not turning down that bag.
yeah,
You don't know
and
what you're going to do. What's going to happen afterwards. Like you don't know if you're going to make that money up. So
yeah, for real. And I look at somebody like Aaron Rodgers, like he's his career, like his game is pretty. His career has been mostly overrated. Like he's been a regular season player. Like in actual in theory, like the overall success of Jimmy G has been mostly better than Aaron Rodgers. Like is you know what I mean? Like, and he's only been out here for like 5 or 6 years as a starting quarterback. Um, I think one person like kind of like the switch things around, like Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. They took a L today. That's 0-2, kind of getting back to real life. I don't know. Like, is this it's been drama for like 5 years with old boy. Like, it's just been, what I mean. Like, for the most part, like at best, he's probably like 23rd or 24th best quarterback in the league, and it's just so much conversation. And now that he's no longer with the Browns, feels like he's about to be forgotten for the most part as they're losing the NFC South.
yeah, if it don't work out in Carolina, he done in the league.
Hmm.
I don't see anyone bringing him in as a back. They might, if he could put down his ego, they'd probably bring him as a backup if he's not good enough. But I don't know. Baker's like a weird kind of dude because he has the confidence of like a top 5 quarterback, but he doesn't perform like a like you hear him talk like he that guy, but he's not really him. He's not him at all.
It's crazy because so many dudes who are like construction work. It's like he's like the person who's like works like a 9 to 5 like labor job. All of those guys love Baker Mayfield because like they played football in high school, whatever. They loved him, but at the end of the day, it's like talent. Like when you get to the pros, that story of Rudy doesn't fit. Like you have to be talented. Like you know what I mean. And he just doesn't, like, his talent just isn't there. And then on top of that, he's not emotionally stable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's all over the place.
What they basically call him, like the handsomer Johnny Manziel, something like that.
pretty
No,
much
sober Johnny Manziel. They call him the sober
yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
Mhm.
So I don't know. They kind of
Yeah,
have similar games a little bit, but
yeah. It's been a lot going on around the league. I think the story going on with Trey Lance and everything else that has happened. You know what I mean? Like people have had their thoughts and had their considerations, and just read the news today. He broke his ankle, so that
Yeah.
kind of like ends.
They try to bury my boy Jimmy G, but he's still on Rose, baby.
Still got a chance, man.
Every time they try to bury Jimmy G, he come back.
Bro, everybody in the locker room is like, yes. This is awkward, yo. Like, bro, like at least people like, you know what I mean, with Patrick Mahomes when he sat out his first year or whatever, people was like, yo, he's so talented, you know, for a fact he's getting ready to get his chance.
Yeah.
Like if Jimmy G takes him to the Super Bowl, like the NFC East is wide open, yo. Like San Francisco's roster is probably one of the best in the NFC. And if Jimmy G gets hot again, there's no reason why they can't make it to the Super Bowl. And that's awkward again if dude takes him to the Super Bowl, you know, 3 times in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like the next year, Trey Lance come back and you like, oh, can you be a backup for us, please? This is gonna be funny.
Nah, so it's gonna bring that that conundrum or that problem like what Philly faced with Foles and Wentz when Wentz went down and Foles came up and Foles actually did something. And then the following season it's like, yo, who's your starter? Is it Wentz or is it Foles? And that it's gonna have the same thing's gonna happen. So
nah,
and even to talk about backup quarterbacks actually doing something. As much as I don't like him, you look at Cooper Rush today.
he was balling.
I mean, he balled a little bit in high school, but everybody counted Cowboys out, including myself. I did not have the Cowboys winning. I did not think the Cowboys was going to perform like they performed. It still was a close game, nevertheless. But Cooper actually balled out. So, but I think that's almost a clear-cut case when Prescott is back. Yeah. Prescott is a starter, but in my mind, if Cooper balls out these next 6 to 8 weeks, and then you got to leave that thought in your head like Prescott ain't really do nothing with us. Let me see what Cooper can really do.
Nick Wright had a thought a few years ago where he was like, what's the point in paying a quarterback? Like, it almost makes more sense to have your roster stacked and just keep drafting a new quarterback, or like there's so many different quarterbacks that are coming into the league now. Like you can get a you can get like a backup, somebody who was like what's old boy from Tennessee, Tannehill, like in 2 years he's going to be available. You know what I mean? Like you might not win a Super Bowl that way, but like just keep drafting quarterbacks every 2 or 3 years, and unless you turn out to be Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean, you can just trade that person. Like think about it right now, right? Like the Broncos have had 2 games so far, and Russell Wilson hasn't been spectacular at all. They put up 16 points today against the Texans. Yeah. But the Broncos gave up like 6 draft picks, 3 players or whatever. The Seahawks they're covered a stack right now, so they're getting ready to reload and again start that process again where you stack your team, you get yourself somebody who can do. San Francisco 49ers, they don't have a top 10 quarterback, but they have a top 5 roster, great running game, great defense, and then just, you know what I mean, like that is enough to get you to the second round of the playoffs.
I don't know. That's a very sticky situation. I feel like sometimes the quarterback can ascend you to the top of the mountain, but like it's kind of weird because it's like you saw Joe Burrow last year going off, but this year it was like, what happened to him? You know?
Who is this guy?
Because he ain't look too good against Dallas, so it's like situation to be in, honestly. Because everyone named him like the next player. It's like he's definitely going back to the Super Bowl. Like it don't look like it this year, not at all. Because it's crazy stats. Like what 80% of the teams who start off 0-2 don't make it to the playoffs or something like that.
And for him too, like he's a pick machine. Like I think of some of the other quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, right? Like he ain't win yet, but he's giving you top 5 touchdowns with like no interceptions. Like he doesn't throw picks, but Herbert, for every touchdown he throws, he's throwing like 2 picks as well. So it's an interesting process what was going down with that. We all, for the most part, are Eagles fans. I think it's a very interesting and exciting time right now for the Eagles. What are your thoughts on the Eagles' outlook for this year?
Me or?
Nah, you got it.
I got it. Okay. Well, I mean, to make it a break a year for Hurts, really. I mean, we got the weapons. We got all the weapons. AJ Brown is good. The what you call the former Heisman player, he's good. We got Sanders, he's good, but you gotta stay healthy, man.
Yeah.
Our D line is good, O line is good. I think our cornerbacks are pretty good. We just got another safety. And I just feel like they just really got to put it all together. Like everyone keeps like I watch a lot of like the Eagles players talk. A lot of them talk about how like Hurts is like willing to learn and like willing to be coached. That's something we definitely lack with Wentz
Mhm.
being coachable. Cause like I know Wentz, like I think he's a good person, but I think he got full of himself towards the end.
Yeah.
That little run we had in 2018. So I think that if he just like improves the accuracy, take care of the ball, I think it would be really good. What I do see in his weaknesses though, he tends to run or try to bail
Mhm.
out before like looking at all his options and reading
Yeah.
pass. So that's one of the flaws I think he need to really get better in. A lot of times he like even in the goal line, like I think he'd make a good play where he ran it in, but at the same time, like he's not getting those touchdown passes. He's wrong
Mhm.
to run, but
Yeah.
just trusting his weapons and just improve really.
Yeah, I'm a 100% agree with you with that. That this is a make it or break a year for Hurts, and I feel like the majority of the Eagles fan base feel the same exact way. I'm gonna tell you 100%. I'm on the Hurts bandwagon.
Yeah.
If he don't give me a playoff win this year, I'm hopping off that bandwagon quick as
Mhm.
I'm still an Eagles fan, but I'm hopping off that bandwagon very quickly.
Mhm.
Uh, and to elaborate on your point or to agree with your point, Daniel, uh, Hurts definitely has a habit of. I mean, he has the nickname of we got a running back that can throw.
Mhm.
I would like to see him become a quarterback that can run. And it's not the same thing. So when you look at him, you know that's his first instinct. He almost like a Vic, but I feel like Vic had a little bit more accuracy than he did,
Mhm.
than he does. Vic was a run first, throw second quarterback, but Vic had the arm to back up both of them. Hurts really doesn't have an arm like Vic, so.
Mhm.
Uh, but I feel like he needs to change that notion just a tad bit, a little bit. If you're gonna be a quarterback, be a quarterback.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and he has a little bit of an arm, but I feel like he just needs to get that down. He has all the threats, so he has no reason to think, okay, I'm going to run. Just need to stand in that pocket a little bit, look for your open receivers, and make them plays.
For sure. We got two games that are coming up on Monday, so we'll look for the closing here. We got Eagles, Vikings, and Titans, Bills. Wrap up real quick. Who do y'all think is going to go on and win those games?
I give you my pick for the Titans and the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. Um, I mean, that's to me, that's a no-brainer. But that's just to me, general. I'm not going to elaborate too much. I think the better game and a closer game, uh, at this point, I don't know who the winner is, but because I'm an Eagles fan, I'm going to say that the Eagles is going to win. But I think the Vikings and the Eagles game should be a determining factor on how each team is going to play. But I'm going to go with the Eagles on that one.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go definitely Bills. Unless something catastrophic goes wrong there, I don't see Josh Allen losing to Tannehill really. Unless they can't stop Henry up front. So definitely Bills. And yeah, I definitely see my Eagles winning, but I feel like it's gonna be a close game, very close game, like
Mhm.
maybe 31-28, something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Sounds.
I feel like I was just watching like what Darius Slay like this morning, so he's hyped about going up against Justin Jefferson. So
Mhm.
I expect them not exactly shut him down, but I expect them to stifle him a little bit. So they gotta look out for dealing on them little tricky plays.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna be an interesting one for the Eagles. Like you said, like I think the Eagles have a serious opportunity. There's so much going on right now with Tom Brady and his personal life. They have some injuries on the offensive line. If the Eagles are able to take a step here, like this is a big game right now for kind of establishing themselves as a dominant force in the NFC. From there, they're able to go ahead and what I mean to get themselves a few wins ahead. You know what I mean? Like the Washington lost today. The Giants surprisingly are still
The Giants
Still-
won. They 2-0.
An ugly
They-
game
they-
too. They keep winning. It's ugly. It's just ugly
Yeah.
play. I don't know why they keep winning.
It's one of the things where it's like if the biggest thing, if you can get the right coach, you know what I mean, like, you know, I think back like a few years ago, you know, when the Rams got Sean McVay, Jared Goff was about to be called a bust. Dude came in and took him from a bust to take him to the Super Bowl. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting process. We're gonna look to come out with some more information. Any closing takes from you guys?
Real quick, I am going to touch on one more person because I was just talking about it. How y'all feel about my man Matt Ryan? That's a big take. So I feel like I definitely feel like Matt Ryan is done for. I always felt like when he was in Atlanta, he was at the tail end of his career. If it felt like he should have retired then. Playing for the Colts now. Don't mean to prolong this podcast, but playing for the Colts now, I'm like, man, that was just a horrible game that I saw today. A piss poor performance on Matt Ryan's part. And I'm just sitting there like, what? Well, what is it?
I was telling
Yeah.
my friends that are Colts fans, I was like, yo, y'all should have kept Wentz.
Should have kept Wentz.
I was
And
like,
then-
yo, Matty Ice not it, man.
Bro, what you call it? Their owner came out. It was finally good to have someone who could lead the team. And dude is throwing up straight up stinkers right now, like this.
So and don't get me wrong. So I definitely feel like being a leader, like a locker room leader. I feel like, and I hear nothing bad about Matt Ryan. He has definitely that personality to be a locker room leader. But to transition that leadership onto the field, Matt Ryan, let's be honest, had 2 good years out of his entire career.
Yeah.
One of those years he went to the Super Bowl. We're not going to talk about that. Everybody knows that 28-3. So what do you really have to show for it? I mean, he really doesn't have anything. So I don't know about leading a team to, like, as far as building morale. He probably has that, but that morale goes to the drain when you come out against my man Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars and you score absolutely nothing. What do you go back in? Yeah, what do you go back in the locker room and say?
Tied with the Texans. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I think it's a long season. 17 games is going to be some time, but more or less, like I said, like it's interesting to watch this process. You know how teams come together. What does your leadership structure look like? Would you do when things go wrong? Are people going to start blaming each other? Whether it's that for the Colts or for anybody right now, like you're going to go through some adversity. Guys are going to get hurt. What happens? And you know, I think one person that like the Aaron Rodgers thing. Anytime things go wrong, dude just, you know what I mean, it becomes Aaron Rodgers doing his job and everyone else is doing their own. But yeah, like with Matt Ryan, hopefully it works out for him. But yeah, it looks like that the whole idea is not about to work out for that team right now.
So it's looking over, bro.
Yeah. So appreciate y'all time tonight, fellas. It was a great recording. We'll look to get this on again. We'll get y'all scheduled when we can have your time and go from there. Have a good day.
All right.
Sounds good.
Peace.